Well, good evening. I don't know what time you're going to catch this, but it is evening, September the 14th, 10:31 p.m. to be exact. And tonight's episode of Beyond the 11 Gates is going to be a very interesting one. We're going to start digging down or going down a rabbit hole. And of course, before I jump into this, I want to say that everything that is stated on this video and all my videos are alleged until proven otherwise. Beyond the Navigate, give me an opportunity to say what I think, and I'll allow you, the audience, to determine if it is true or false. Of course, all my conversations that I have, I pass them on as being the whole truth and nothing but the truth, according to my experience and my interpretation. But once again, Beyond the Left Gate is opportunity for you to have insight and to do your own research. Okay? So before we get into it, ow! Let's jump. Oh, no, actually, before we get into the 11th gate, ow! There's one thing I do want to talk about. Okay? Today is the last day. Okay? You're going to have until 3 p.m. today or 3 p.m. Friday, September 15th to join the I deleted it. Okay, no, I did it. To join the Samhain Day of the Dead event discussion, that is. If you do not join by the 15th, all individuals who join after the 15th will only be able to discuss the plans that have already been put in motion as far as where the event is going to take place, the time, etc., all that good stuff. The crazy thing about it is that 5 people voted for the location of this event, but only 2 people joined the group to discuss it. So once again, if you have not joined the group by 3 p.m. September the 15th, you will not be able to have your opinion on where it's going to be located, Camarillo, California, or Sacramento. And as far as times and all the good stuff, you'll only be a part of deciding if you're going to be a part of it or not. And of course, we'll discuss that later down the line. But you can search the group up by typing this in and or scanning this code from your motherfucking phone. Okay? Let's continue. Shall we?
Secrets will be shared with you. Only what we want to explore. You have no say over what I do in my time. You have know all of your hidden secrets. You have been dishonest with secret code for so long. The secrets of the girls will always be revealed.
Well, we're going to get back right into this episode. As I mentioned, Beyond the 11th Gate give me an opportunity to state how I feel and what I know without organizations trying to get me shut down. Now, you can take that if you want to take it. I'm just here to be the messenger, and you can decide if it's truth or not. Okay? Oh. Now, tonight's episode, Azar, or Azar, is a very interesting one. And this is actually going to, this is going to be into multiple parts. There's going to be multiple parts to this, and we're going to spread them out because this is too much information for you guys to digest, right? I'm just going to assume that because I don't know. There's a lot of stuff when it comes to um, this topic tonight. And if you do not know what azar means, it is actually Persian for the word fire. Okay? It is actually common for both boys and girls, as well as the last name for those who are of Persian descent. Now, this is very, very connected to the word Azark, Ozark, also the word Atash. You know, Atash is another word for fire in Persian. But either way, this is going back to the Zoroastrian, okay? And there is some tea on why I wanted to call it Azar or Azar, depends on your tongue, but I won't discuss that right now. So, Azar also means to protect, aid, help, support, give material or non material encouragement. And we know that non material means spiritual, emotional, energetic, or mental. So, of course, is discussing witches. Okay? Motherfucking witches. Okay? Witch bitches. Ow! And like I said, we're just going to talk about some very common things tonight. And just to make you think, just to make you see things from a different perspective. Because, you know, what I have to say, like I said, a lot of times, a lot of people don't want to hear. But I think you need to know. And even going into the Salem witch trials, this man right here is very, very important to not only the American history, but also the witch history. And you're going to learn about him right now. So before the Salem witch trials, I always told y'all I was not a fan of how people depicted the Salem witch trials as being the ancestors for all American witches. You even had witches on the front line and behind the scenes saying, "No wonder why my neck be hurting in March." You know, just making all this bullshit up. No wonder why my neck is hurting. Oh my God. Ow. So, either way, I always told y'all the Salem witch trials was nothing more but a cover up for the real witchery. And this started exactly 9 years, well, way before that. But this is what we're talking about documented. Because they actually implemented the Witch Act, I believe, in the 1500s, which was exactly what, 159 years before the Salem witch trials. So there had to be experiences of witches before that, whether it was in America or in Europe, because you know during that time European colonizers came over here to this country. So William Penn was a Quaker. Now I'm not going to go too deep into his history because, like I said, this topic is about witches. But we're going to talk about a history that a lot of you are not aware of. Okay, there's actually a story. Okay, and let me see. Okay, of course, you know. I mean, of course. Hold on. Let me pull her up. Okay, let me pull her up, honey. So there is actually a story, and this state takes place in the uh, southern eastern part of what we call Pennsylvania. And this happened, or should I say, this all began on May 22nd of 1654. There was a woman by the name of Margaret Matson who came from Sweden. Yes, honey. And Miss Margaret Matson was married to Mr. Niles, okay, or they could say Niels. There's many ways of how his name is spelled, but Mr. Niles Matson. And this woman did not speak English at all, okay. And I believe this trial was actually called the Witches of Credo Creek. Let me see if they're gonna say it right here. Hold on, because I want y'all to, like I said, you can do your own research on this stuff. And of course, this is documented. This is not the first experiences, okay? The first experiences, okay? Because they are alleging, okay? And if you do your research on this, you're going to see other stuff. They are alleging that the Witchcraft Act was passed in 1604, okay? Either way, it predates the witch trials and all that good stuff. From what I know, it was 1504. Like I said, don't take my word for it. Okay. So either way, you can do research on Margaret Matson, it will come up. And she arrived in a colony of New Sweden, which is, like I said, in a southeastern part of Pennsylvania called Eddystone, Pennsylvania. She arrived on a ship called Orn. Now, in Old Norse, Orn actually mean ego. Okay. She is of Swedish and Finnish descent. Okay. Her husband was a reputed healer working from the Finnish tradition. In 1683, okay, 31 years after she arrived, okay, Margaret's neighbors started to claim that she had bewitched cattle, meaning that mama was fucking up these animals and stuff. And during that time, honey, cows and goats and sheeps, okay, was like the cream of the crop. I'm jumping the gun. Let me back up. Okay, come on in here. So the neighbors accused her, as well as her own daughter-in-law, right? Stating that she was making threats against the neighbors, causing cows to give a little bit of milk. She was bewitching and killing the livestock. And she also was appearing to witnesses in spectral form. Y'all, this is documented. And just so you know, because there's no news articles of the fucking Salem witch trials, right? And you could let me know. Hold on. Let me know. Hold on, I thought I sent those sources over to myself, but I guess I was gonna do a little video, and I didn't. Let me send something over to y'all really quickly while we up on this, because baby, shit is about to get real. Okay, shit is about to get real, real, real. Okay, okay. Salem witch trials ain't got shit. Okay, on Miss Margaret Matson. Okay, and her good Judy. Because, see, I love me a good Judy girl. I love me a good Judy. And her good Judy, her good old Judy, by the name of Yeshro Gertrude Hendrickson Jacobson. Now, this is where the bewitching get in. This week they start getting into the bewitching, y'all. Because according to my knowledge, Miss Yeshro, aka Gertrude, was a Hendrickson, not a Hendrick Jacobson, because I said that she was the wife of Mr. Hendrick Jacobson. Now, like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on about this, a misunderstanding about these stories, but this was actually documented and put in newspapers, y'all, many, many years ago. Now, let me put this up really quickly. I should have had this read already, but I thought I had it. I thought I had it already. I thought I had it already. And once again, Beyond Every Gate just give y'all opportunity to do your own research, you know, to, to decide what it is and what it ain't. Okay. I'm not here to tell you what it is. I'm just here to share some insight. Okay. So let's do this right here. Where did she go? There we go. This is where she go. This is where she go. Now where she ran, this is where she go. So right here, okay, this news article right here, this is a news article about the Ridley Creek witches. Okay. And of course, many people, there was a person that actually got the article together, like, so you do your research on this, that actually published and talked about, okay, this actual footage of her, what they call it, a homestead. But either way, she was accused with her friend, or neighbor, um, on February 27th of 1683. And she was charged with her neighbor, Yeshua Jacobson. They were both brought by the Attorney General before a grand jury of 21 men and overseen by the colony's procurator named William Penn. Now, William Penn was about freedom of religion. This is why I said this is where he comes in, and this is where, once again, he's a very important figure when it comes to the freedom of religion in America. But either way, the grand jury returned a true bill indictment that afternoon, and the case was proceeded to trial. A petty jury of 12 men were selected by Twin, and an interpreter was appointed for the Finnish women because they both did not speak motherfucking English. Penn barred the use of prosecution, and defense lawyers conducted the questioning himself and permitted the introduction of unsubstantiated hearsay. Penn himself gave the closing charge and directions to the jury, but what he told them was not transcribed. According to the minutes of the provincial consul, dated February 27th of 1683, the jury returned with a verdict of guilty of having the common fame of a witch, but not guilty in a manner and form as she stands indicted. Madison was found guilty of having the reputation of a witch, but not guilty of bewitching animals. Neither woman was convicted of witchcraft. Hence, the superstitious got enough to have their thinking affirmed. Those less superstitious and justice minded got what they wanted. The accused were released on their husbands posting recognizance bonds of £50 and promising 6 months of good behavior. These two women were witches, and they got away. They got away. They got away with witchery. They got away with witchcraft. It even says that a popular legend urban legend, said that William Penn dismissed the charges against Madison by affirming her legal right to fly on broomsticks, saying, okay, quote, well, I know of no law against it. The record fails to show any such commentary, but the story probably reflects popular views of Penn's socially progressive Quaker values. Going into this show, this could be the first ever noted in American history as a witch trial, but this is the actual time that witches got away. And I always say, and I will continue to say, I do not want to know of any witches or have any witches do work for me that do not know how to get away with anything they're trying to do. Meaning, bitch, if you are really that girl and that boy having that ability to convince people in this realm that you have a higher position, because you do if you are a real witch. Okay? Real witches actually do have rain on the other side. They do have favors with spirits in the other realms. Okay? But either way, I'm going to go into some things here, right? Like, so I'm going to keep it very light, because this is going to be a multi-series, right? Multiple parts. I want to keep it very tight, and I want to talk about some things that are not really um, things that are myths, right? And of course, we're going to have this up while I go into this. So, if you do not know, witches, okay, are allegedly keepers and guardians of nature. They're also known as servants of nature. Hollywood has misled the public into what witches really are. Okay. Even going into the conversations of witches claiming that they are a part of covens, right? Now, I have this up because this is very, very important to note and to always keep with you, right? So, witches are not immortals, they're actually mortals with the power to implement magic through a complex practice known as the craft of the witch or witchcraft. They are self claimed keepers of of nature, as well as balancers of the universe. Although many witches are known to use their powers for personal reasons, the origins of their powers, or even witchcraft for that matter, remains a mystery. Witches have existed for very, very long, passing down their knowledge and skills through their lineage, aka culture. Okay, it's not always blood, but culture. Their number one source of magic or way of having magic is harnessing the earth's elemental energy. They uphold their sacred duty to maintain and preserve the balance of nature and to combat the forces that threaten the balance, such as the elite. Now, we won't go into that, very lightly, politely. We won't go into that, but we're going to just keep it very light and polite. Okay. In mythology, witches are said to have covens, right? Witches are said to do workings with covens. And I always tell y'all this from what I have learned and from what I have known through past life regressions and through modern day work. And I'm even going to go into subconscious workings, is that real witches do not work in covens. They actually work solitarily. It is a myth that they work in covens. Now, this does not take away that witches do not join together with other witches that have a common goal, a common reason, right? When they're trying to manifest something, because there's power in numbers. We all know this. But even according to the etymology of the word coven, it is a gathering of witches, a meeting, a assembly, a varied form of covenant, or covenant. This is also saying like a church, like churches are also covens. When you go to your job, that is also a coven. Okay. When you go to a business meeting, that is also a coven. If you want to get into it, people have the same goal in mind, at least they should have, and they come up with strategies to obtain that. But all witches are solitary. Okay. All witches are solitary. We're talking about real witches, not wannabes. Okay. Wannabe witches talk about they coven, and that's the forefront of all things. But like I said, that is a myth. Okay. Real witches operate by themselves. And this also goes into the reason why we move in silence. We understand that when we work in groups of people, there's a good chance that the secret may get out. And we don't want to have to take people out. Okay? So this is why movies, they took their direction, Hollywood took their direction from real life covenants, real life witches, and they decided to depict these storylines in movies to where witches are looking to be in covens and we're gonna be going through our school fucking shit up. But in reality, like I said, they always catch witches individually. And just so happen there's multiple people that do the same fucking thing. But they're individual. Once again, witches work alone unless there is common people that are trying to obtain the exact same goals. As I said earlier, I doubt you want the exact same thing I want. Not everybody wants to marry, the type of men I want to marry. So what good are you gonna do with us doing workings together constantly, unless there is a manipulation, right? Unless there's some type of control factor. And then, of course, going into in other cultures, that's why they call witches age, like mothers, right? Because you have to, like mothers, control their children. So this is a control thing, a manipulation thing. Once again, the telephone game, a misunderstanding of what it really is. Okay. Of course, okay, there's different types of magic. And people mix these magics up all the time. All the time. You have people out here saying that they're alchemists, but we use words of a hoodoo priestess. You got people out here saying that they're doing voodoo or hoodoo, but yeah, they're actually doing what they call channeling magic. And as I said before, these teachings, okay, are very different, right? They do have similar roots, right? Or similar energies, but they're not one and the same. They're two different things. As hoodoo and voodoo. Very, very different. Okay? So of course, I'm going to go into some definitions and maybe even leave y'all with some magical tea. I don't know. We'll get into some tea, honey. Either way, of course, there's different types of magic: earth magic, fire magic, water magic, blue magic, pink magic, white magic, gray magic. But once again, there's even deeper magics to that, right? So we have, as I mentioned before, channeling magic, right? This is a form of magic that uses celestial energies, celestial events, experiences, person, places, and things, animals, cats, dog, birds, insects, right? And you're utilizing this energy to tap into that power that that person, place, or thing have, and you become that thing, right? So you are literally pulling on the element of, let's say, money, right? And of course, going into, let's say, the laws of attraction, the secret, let's say going into these affirmation YouTube channels. This is all going into channeling magic. That's a type of magic. You're tapping into the usage of money. You're tapping into the usage of sound. You're observing things, going into visual boards, right? It's the same thing. It's channeling magic. You're tapping into the energies of what that picture is displaying: the car, the house, the ring. You're pulling that energy up. You're tapping into that. And you're allowing these energies to manifest, right? And we're not going to say you're allowing it. These energies that you're manipulating, that you're tapping into, are going to manifest into your reality. That's just how it is. Going into even what we call dark magic, right? People say that all magic is dark magic, black magic, right? And we're gonna say dark magic because we know that dark black magic, a lot of people misconstrued that shit too. They consider black magic by black people, white magic by white people. And if you don't believe me, you can look up the YouTube videos and TikTok channels and shit. Okay, either going into the dark magic witches, sorcerers, however, they gotta have dark shit on. When in reality, dark magic witches don't walk around like that. Because once again, the job of the witch is to keep the secret. Okay. And we can even pull up, and I'll probably even pull it up too. We can even pull up scriptures, of course, for sure in the Bible. And also going into, as I mentioned before, the witch's pyramid, where it talks about to keep in silence. Power shared is power lost, right? Letting the left hand know what the right hand doing will cause your shit not to work. So you have to move in silence with your craft and what you do and how you do. And that's why a lot of people have a hard time manifesting their desires in the reality, because they got to share with Tom, Dick, and Harry what they fucking doing. So dark magic is the thought that magic is being pulled up from evil sources, and it is fueled by the darker aspect of which is within themselves, within themselves. So their own emotions, their own negative thoughts, ideas, right? This magic, of course, is extremely powerful, and it's not because they can tap into their negative energy quicker than they can tap into their um, lighter energy. It's because this type of magic comes from the conscious mind, and the conscious mind is already set up to fuck you up. While white magic, while channeling magic, while lighter magic comes from the subconscious mind. And like I said, we'll talk about that on another series, right? Still part of this, but another series. Okay. Um, Dark magic does come, okay, because what you put out, you do get back. The negative emotions, the negative ideas, the negative thoughts that you put out has to come back and has to slap you full circle. So, regardless of how powerful this magic is, or even the person who are casting these spells or rituals claim to be, they will get that fucking karma. Okay? Going into ancestral magic, something that is talked about, but not really. Okay? This is a form of magic that is used to draw energy from the dead ancestors of the practitioner. And in order for ancestral magic to fully work, it has to be at the location of where your ancestors resided and or still reside. Now, of course, if we're going into the spiritual aspect of that, having their pictures, having their belongings will allow you to channel that energy. And of course, to meet them in a certain space, right? Once again, on this episode of Beyond the Left Gate, I will not go into, I was going to mention something right now, but I won't go into that because, of course, I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can on these series Beyond the 11th Gate. Either way, where these ancestors has passed on, i.e., or their bodies reside, you could be at the cemetery, right? Ancestral magic works also in cemeteries. But anyway, it all depends on your connection to these ancestors. Now, from what I was taught, okay, what was told to me is that ancestral magic can only go back 3 known generations or 300 years. Okay. 3 generations back or 300 years. Okay. Because, of course, going into the land and the realm of the ancestors, some people will try to rearrange Oh, girl. Oh, my God. When I said my shit shut all the way down, it shut all the way motherfucking down. Oh, my God. Then it said I couldn't. Girl, listen. Thank God we didn't go into what I want to go into tonight. Okay, wait a minute. Well, thank God I didn't go into what I wanted to go into tonight. So I guess we gonna keep. Girl, wait a minute. Um. Okay, let's keep it pushing. I'm gonna, be wrapping this up. Uh. But we're gonna go into this. Like I said, I guess I'll be wrapping this up, bro, because I want to go into some real good tea today. But I guess we'll say that for another part. I guess Spirit is like, not on the fucking new moon, you not. It literally turned off. It said battery disabled. I had to restart this bitch 3 fucking times, y'all. And this is a $4,000 computer. Bitch, hello? Don't play with me, honey. Okay, Spirit said, bitch, not today. So let's go into hoodoo and voodoo. Hoodoo and voodoo are both spiritual belief systems that are based around Mother Nature and respect for the dead. Although they are similar, they are very different. Hoodoo is an African American system of folk magic, whereas voodoo is a motherfucking religion. And in order to be a part of voodoo, it has to be a part of your motherfucking generation. Just like, girl, the Christians got you thinking that you could be, girl, but they just be playing with fucking religion and shit, girl. I won't even get into that because, like I said, I want to keep it unbiased. Hoodoo practitioner does not invoke loas. Instead, Hoodoo uses Catholic saints to represent their guardians. Hoodoo practitioner also work with both hands, okay, left and hand. Wow. Okay. The anyway, I won't get into that. Some characteristics of hoodoo magic include candle burning, the use of incense, and also the use of psalms from the Bible, seals and talisman from the sixth and seventh book of Moses. It also includes the pentacles and the sigils of motherfucking Solomon. Besides, the book of Psalms is connected to the motherfucking Solomon. Can we talk about it? The book of Psalms is the book of songs. And there are scriptures of called the songs of songs. Do your research, okay? Going into another thing, right? In Hollywood, they talk about Hollywood sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. This is called sacrificial magic. And I do want to say this because this gets a little, I wasn't going to go into this, but we're going to lightly go into this. Sacrificial magic is the idea that someone would do a ritualistic sacrifice, okay, of someone of great importance or someone of great power to draw their energy, and this is the practitioner, to use that energy to get them by in life. One good example, allegedly, Lady Gaga. Now, we love Lady Gaga. We're not here to bash anybody or anything, but it is alleged that Lady Gaga killed her best friend to gain her success, because her best friend also was a good singer. She was a good performer, and she was beautiful. So that would be a great example of sacrificial magic. Everybody got y'all thinking out here that these girls are out here sacrificing their mama, they daddy, they unborn child for fame. When it's like, what type of power did this unborn child have outside of the child being offered up to Lucifer, Satan, before the child was even born? That's a whole nother story. But many of you do that practice as well because you let's see, let me mind my business. So either way, sacrificial magic is also very powerful, but you would have to take out, just saying theoretically, if one is trying to acquire, because something just came to mind right now, and it's not something, it's spirit. Come on in here. It's the new moon, and we moving and shifting this energy. That's why, bitch, I have to go. I have to go. I gotta go before the clock strikes 12. Okay, but let's say, for a good example, I'm trying to be the sexiest vibration. No, not vibration. The sexiest, outrageous, successful artist, right? In a certain arena, in a certain genre. I would then befriend, and like I said, this is theoretically, I would then befriend this person, okay? Or maybe people would make it to where we grow up together. Who knows? Maybe they'll become my godmother. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, my music career, my acting career, my dancing career is not turning out the way I wanted it to turn out. So then I have the go opportunity to take this person out. And maybe I'm not in it because it'll look too obvious if I'm in the same hotel room. If I'm in the same hotel room, but I'm not in the same hotel room. I'm down here performing and shaking and gyrating. I'm just saying. I'm just saying what I'm not saying. I would have to sacrifice that elite, or that auntie, or that godmother, or that big sister of mine who got all the accolades. Girls, maybe she got Grammys, maybe she got Tonys. I don't know. I would have to sacrifice that energy, or someone connected to me would have to sacrifice that energy for me to get that power, and to once again sacrificial magic to then get that power, and now I become powerful again. But of course, for a situation that I'm thinking of right now, this person did not become powerful, and in fact this person actually reached out to myself via two other people, and they wanted to get some work done. And I said, baby, I don't play those type of games, honey. Anyway, keep it a pushing. Like I said, we ain't saying, but we are saying. This, like I said, keep it a pushing. Girl, it's not working out. So a lot of times the sacrificial magic does not work out because there's a lot of shadiness going on. And of course, going into the wrong people having their hands in a motherfucking cookie jar. And that's what's wrong with a lot of you witches out here. Y'all got too many people hands in a cookie jar. And that's why the shade never gonna work. You got your minions doing your dirty work for you, and then you're sacrificing your minions' energy because when you send them the way to a witch like myself, we do nothing but suck that energy up and use for whatever the fuck we need to use it for. Oh, come on in here. That's all you doing. You just leveling us up. Come on in here. So either way, moving on, witches do have a lot of people are aware of Masonic people. They're aware of other cult people having rankings on the other side, in the other, the other space, the other dimension. There are rankings, and I would even say this too, going into modern day, the world right now, the third dimension. Everything is flipped the other way. People who have high rankings in this realm have lower rankings on the other side, and vice versa. People with lower rankings here tend to have higher rankings on the other side. And this goes the same for witches, being servants of whatever, however, that is a lower ranking to be a servant, right? Like they call police officer uh, public servants, right? But that doesn't mean they're less than you are. In a sense of rankings, they are, right? But in a sense of power, they're not. We see it all the time. Look what they can do. So the same thing with that. Okay. Witches do have rankings on the other side. And once again, I'm speaking of authentic, real witches. Now, of course, there are different types of witches. And I think a lot of people do not understand the different types of witches. Okay. And of course, I was going to go into those different types of witches right now, but we will save that for another time because Spirit is telling me that this is not the day. Do not do this on the new moon. Okay? Do not do this on the new moon. So we're going to go into words, and we're going to give the definition of these words. These are commonly used words that a lot of spiritual people tend to use. Okay? These are commonly used words that spiritual people, the spiritual community, tend to use. Okay? And where is my little word? Where is it at? Okay. Let's stick it up here. Okay. There we go. Let's do it. Okay. Very lightly, politely. The idea, there are ideas, or there is an idea that witches and like thereof have the ability to tap into supernatural abilities and elemental forces. The witch has the ability to host these magical abilities. With experience and training in the craft, these powers become stronger, right? And of course, training is not reading about it, it's deeper than just that. There's processes, right? And once again, this is all theory. You can do your own research on this. There are people that have been initiated into organizations, known and unknown. And you could type in spiritual organizations, magical organizations in the world, Freemasonry, Rosicrucians, Ismaitians, whatever. There's many organizations out there, and there are practices that one must go through in order to gain their title. Okay. And there are tests that they go through. And even going into the coven, American Horror Story Coven, they were showing like examples of the seven wonders or the eighth wonder. These witches had to perform these wonders in order to be considered accepted into the academy. They were trainees under the academy, but they were not actually a part of the academy. And in the end, you see that the academy had opened, and certain people were actually in the academy. They became teachers or guides or whatever the hell they were, according to the series. But there are training, right, and experience. You have to be trained on it, and you have to go through it in order for you to get these powers to grow. Now, let's go into the definitions of these, the words and the definitions. Channeling. A lot of people tend to use these words, channeling. This word, I'm channeling. I'm a channeler. I channel things, right? And then you look at their life and you're like, wow, you channeled what? I'm not going to say no names, but there is people on the internet, and there's one of them in particular that tried to come for me years ago. We called her Chucky. Mama's, you know, locks were very dreadful. At one point in time, they looked like churros dipped in red powder. At another time, they looked like hot Cheeto pieces. Allegedly, this individual, this channeler, was under attack by the police, LAPD. And there's no way under God's green earth, well, on God's green earth, or under God's magnificent celestial dome, that a law enforcement, a judge, a jury, or a prosecutor gonna have power over my motherfucking ass. I'm just saying. So the only thing that I saw this person channeling was dreams, because they didn't know how to unlock the real channels to channel. And of course, modern day science tell you how to channel. Modern day science tell you how to channel things. Okay, hello, TV channels. That's just one thing of channel. But look up all the things that channel is. Anyway, channeling is the act of invoking or summoning extra forms of energy by focusing on external forces. So to channel something, you have to be in that space of what it is you're trying to channel. So for good example, I am a channeler. Okay. I amplify energy. Okay. And this is not a self title. This is not a self proclaim. People around me could attest to that. And if you come out to the Samhain event, you can see for yourself as well. I amplify energy within myself and outside of myself. So I have to be in that space, whether it's in thought form or physical form, to pull and say, oh my God, this is what's going on. This is what it is, how it is. And also reenact to you. And I tell this, Geminis naturally have that ability. They give you what you give them. And not just Geminis, many air signs, Libras and Aquarius, they also do that to an extent, right? Libras can also channel, Aquarius can also channel, okay, to an extent. But you give the energy, and the channeler can now interpret the energy back to you, okay? Spell casting, okay? Spell casting is the act of changing and controlling events through the use of incantations, words, rituals, etc. Spell casting is not the act of burning a candle and you're done. Okay? You are actually repetit in repetition, you're conjuring up energy, and that's how you are spell casting. Some people say there are spell casters, but the life ain't showing it. No shade. Going into the next word, divination, divinator, psychic. Okay, it can all be the same. There's a little difference in it. But divinator, it's a form of psychic ability. Okay, divination, someone who can divinate, or excuse me, someone who, yeah, someone who has the ability to give a divination is a divinator. Divination is the act of divining future, past, and present events based off of extrasensory perception. That's not something that you could see, hear, taste, or feel in the present moment. So, divinator is not someone knowing that you are a woman from poverty. You're an impoverished person, and they can tell you right now what you're going through. Duh. Okay, anybody could do that. That's not divinating. Divinating is the ability to say, "I see change come from this. How it's going to happen, and that's how it actually. That's actually how it's going to happen." Okay, clairvoyance. Okay, there's many clairs. Clairvoyance, the practice of divination through the perception of emotions, objects, people, or physical phenomena through, okay, you're able to see these things, but not through your physical eye. Perceive, right? To perceive, right? To perceive, right? You're able to perceive what is going on. Going into mediumship, okay, very similar. Mediumship is the practice of communicating with spirits of the dead or spirits of other realms, because people who can also become a mediumship, okay, or those who are also mediums, they can also tap into deities, and that goes into a whole nother topic I want to talk about another time, because I think getting into the style or the types of witches is going to reveal a lot of things about a lot of people, including yourself, that you are not even aware of. A lot of you have become a certain type of practitioner without you even knowing. And this is where we go into spiritual perversion. And like I said, it's not my business. We're just giving out the information. You can do your own research on it. Hello? An empath is someone who has the power to identify the emotions and feelings of another person. Now, identifying is to bring on that energy, because when someone say I identify as a woman, you don't just present as a woman, you actually harness all the essence of that, right? Just an example, not throwing it, just saying it. The power to identify the emotional feelings of another person. So an empathetic person can't be moping around with depressed people. An empathetic person can be surrounded by misery and sickness, because they also will take on that energy. And the same thing with an empathetic person, don't do things to trigger those energies in other people. They don't do things to trigger emotions in other people, because they can take on. I always have this conversation with people that I love and I care for, because they would say they're empathetic, and I'm like, maybe sympathetic, but if you are empathetic, you learn to turn shit off. Because me being an empath, I get headaches, I get nauseous, I don't feel good, right? So I have to cut myself off from person, place, or things. And I have done it. I've walked out of situations, and it wasn't because I was running. It's because, bitch, I don't like what I was feeling, the dizziness, all that good stuff. So it is physical things you take on as an empath, right? You are identifying with the emotional feelings of others, and you really take on these emotions, and it cannot be explained, right? I think that empathy is also a extra sensory perception. I really do feel that, because a lot of people say they're empathetic when I'm like, okay, but then you wouldn't go around triggering people. The word bitch bother people. You won't keep calling them a bitch, because now you're going to take on that. Going into uh, premonitions, the practice of divination through the observation and study of dreams. So this means that you have a dream about something. Now, there's something very interesting about premonitions is that I think that we all have the ability to um, have premonitions. I think that we all have premonitions because I learned a long time ago. When I say long time ago, I'm only in my early 30s. I want to put that out there. But to me, every 10 years is a long time. I will even say every 7 years, baby, because every 7 years your body change. Come on in here. Okay. And after a week, girl, it seemed like 2 weeks is 14 days and oh girl, it just seems so long. Okay. So I learned that our subconscious mind, the reason why we're able to, when we have experiences in our waking state, and we go, wait a minute, this feels like a deja vu, right? Because deja vus are different from what I'm about to say right now. But you feel like you've seen this person before, or you're like, you look very familiar, and they're like, no, and you're like, are you Bobby Sue? No. Do you know anybody by the name of Jacobson? No. Are you from here? Actually, I'm not. I'm from Barbados. Whatever. There's just a sense of you knowing this person. It is your subconscious mind that actually wrote that experience out for you, and your conscious mind, or the limbo, or the limbo, there's a certain way that they say that mind is not able to remember, oh my god, it was a dream I had, right? Oh my god, it's a mental experience I had. So once again, premonitions, I think we all have it. Another thing I want to mention too, just this happened to me this week, well, last week, but it came into reality this week. Last week I was talking to a sister of mine, which is a common word that a lot of witches use because we are brothers and sisters and keepers of the secret. So my sister and I, one of my sisters and I, we had a conversation, and maybe in person during a Samhain event, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But anyway, I was talking about how wealthy people, I believe, are assets, and some of them are liabilities. When they're liabilities, they get cut out of their contracts. And I mentioned how I wonder how to go about, how should I put this out here without telling y'all this? Because I don't like telling people my business. Because oh my god. Okay, I was figuring out how something would happen, right? In the matter of 2 days, y'all, at night, because things happen at night for a reason. Oh, come on in here. Because the subconscious mind is more powerful when the sun goes down. Okay. And when you're sleeping, it's in full throttle. So when the sun goes down, your subconscious mind starts awakening. Okay. And when you're fully asleep, it fully takes over. That's what I said. 95% of your life experiences are through your subconscious mind. But either way, 2 days after this, I'm at a grocery store, and a white, now this does not matter to y'all, okay, but I'm just telling y'all how it happened for me. A white Mercedes Benz with rhinestone license plates was backing up. And the bitch didn't almost hit me, but she thought she almost hit me. So she was rushing apart, and beautiful girl too. Okay, and I know her name, but I'm not gonna say her name. Beautiful girl. She got a car. She said, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I really thought that, I thought, yeah, I went, I didn't want to hit you, and I'm just like, oh, it's okay, girl. I was like, it's fine. That's why I was gonna let you go, girl. It's okay, girl." And we were just talking like we knew each other. And this lady was all like, "Can I ask you something? Because you're a real, I could tell you're a people person, right?" And I could even call this lady on the phone for y'all too at another time. She could verify what I'm telling you is true. She's like, "I can tell that you're a people person, and you love helping people. I can get that from you." And she's like, "What is your profession?" And I said, "Well, I do many things, but what I'm trying to do right now is facilitate something." And she said, "Oh my God, I'm trying to get in that industry. Here's my business card." So the lady gave me this business card, y'all. And mind you, I was talking about it 2 days prior, but I was thinking about it the whole time. Because when I have ideas, I'm always thinking about these ideas until I just cannot stop thinking about them. So this lady And her name is actually the name of a old friend of mine, which I thought was like spirit really talking. She actually does five of the things that I was trying to figure out how these celebrities do to get what they get. And we had a meeting literally on Monday. We're supposed to have another one on Wednesday. And this is all her planning, which I know was Spirit also talking, because Monday deals with the mind. Okay. And then Wednesday deals with communication. So she set it up for Monday, then again Wednesday. And I said, no, we can't do Wednesday because I got things I got to do. But she's explaining the process to me, and it blew my mind because I never even heard of this, never even thought about this. And there's no YouTube videos on here how to do this. There's no, girl, you Google it, there's no Google on it. There's nothing on it. So premonition, once again, I had a premonition, not consciously, but subconsciously. I consciously said something, and subconsciously, this premonition came about. Okay. And then it physically manifested into something. So it's very, very amazing, y'all. Okay. So, of course, like I said, there's so many definitions, so many words, so many ideas. I will, maybe give y'all two spiritual words. Every time we do an AZAR episode, two spiritual titles, two spiritual words. I don't know. We'll do it. Okay. Anyway, objects that witches use that I think a lot of people are not even aware of. And of course, these are just theories. Okay. Once again, you do your own research and we'll be tying this up. Okay. We know about candle magic, a very basic form of magic, but yet advanced. A lot of people who are keepers of the secret and or guardians of nature and or those who are aware of their abilities always have some type of candle or flame going, right? And I won't get into that, why I said or some type of flame, but witches use candles to draw the energy from the fire to enhance their desires. Okay. Going into stones and herbs, right, which are called um, gemology magic or herbal magic, right? Herbalist, whatever, however, whatever you want to go into that. Witches use these objects to aid them on their practices because each herb and each stone has their own energy. They are considered their own entity, okay? Meaning that every herb has its own ability, its own power, its own purpose. Every herb is connected to its own resource, its own element, right? If you don't believe me, do your research on that, as I said. Going to even stones, they have their own color, their own metal content, their own frequency, and they're connected to other, planetary energies. So these stones and these herbs are literally their own persons, if you want to say. And even modern day science is now starting to say that plants have a consciousness. Okay. Witches already knew that. Okay. I mean, they already knew that. The good thing about plants is that they are sacrificial, okay, entities. Okay. They know what their purpose are. They know that they're here to aid the keepers of nature. But even when we're doing our workings, or when witches are doing their workings, we ask for permission and the assistance from these stones and these herbs. When we're using sage, we ask for permission to use that sage and we thank the sage for its purpose. When we get a stone, it's the same thing. And it's why even going into people, when you get a stone that you need it, eventually you will lose that stone, right? And they say when you lose the stone, it means that the stone has served its purpose. It doesn't mean that you don't need an obsidian stone. It doesn't mean that you don't need a selenite. It doesn't mean that you don't need an amethyst. It just means that that entity attached to that stone at that frequency for the purpose that you got it for has served its purpose. And now it's making way for other entities on that level, but not that type of vibration and frequency to come on in to actually assist you. And then, of course, we're going into, notebooks and grimoires where, witches document their spells and rituals and recipes as well as their growth. I call my shit notebooks. Okay. I, note my experiences. I note my, ideas, what I felt 2 years ago and how I'm still feeling on the same date. And that's the beautiful thing about Facebook too, because Facebook is our grimoire, right? Facebook literally show you what you were feeling back in the day. So today it's so crazy, y'all, because it's a new moon. And on this date 3 years ago, it was not a new moon. But I was actually performing a a specific ritual 3 years ago on this day, on September the 14th. And I that just blew my mind. Like how everything comes full circle. Like I didn't know 3 years from that date that it was gonna be a new moon. And that this year I was gonna do blah 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 blah. I didn't know that. It didn't show up in my storyline until today, I think around 1 p.m. So I believe once again, Spirit told me to do what I'm doing today. And it came to me. Anyway, I won't get into that. Don't let the left hand know what the right hand doing. Either way, y'all, that's really it with this part of AZAR. Okay. In the next part, I'm not going to tell you when we're going to drop that. Um, we're going to go over some teas. Okay. Some very, very important teas. It is the new moon, so I do not want to discuss certain things today. Another reason why I'm saving certain parts for other dates. I do want to say this, okay? The practices of witches have been going on for thousands of years. The knowledge, the idea of planets, the idea of the elements, how energies work, have always been interpreted by so called witches, aka spiritually advanced people. Although witches are magical beings, they are still mortals. They still could die. They still could have certain experiences. Now they do have the ability to, you know, soften those experiences, but they will have those experiences. And one thing that I learned is that one thing that fucks up a witch is having fear. And it's not just a witch because the Bible also talks about living in fear. So it's not just a witch thing. I think this is a transcendent, above and beyond all spiritual experiences. That fear is a debilitating, disabling emotion. And it is believed that when a witch is in fear of something or someone, oh, come on in here, that they lose their powers every time they have a fearful thought, a fearful experience. Okay, that's why, once again, we can't walk around living in fear. Things that we are afraid of, we need to face those fears. Okay, it will once again disable your abilities. Okay, another reason why a lot of witches, a lot of manipulators, a lot of witches that pull from darker energy, they have to make you afraid. They want to come online with face paints and Google Gagas and hello, I'm here to get you together. Of course, because they want to make you afraid, right? They want to make you afraid. Okay. Fear is something that does not reside within you. Fear is not real. Okay. Nothing in this reality is worth fearing. Okay. You have the power to manifest all that you desire. Either way, this ends it for part one, okay, of the Beyond the 11th Gate AZAR. The question is, do you believe in witches? Do you believe in magical ability of witches? Do you believe in clairvoyance? Do you believe in the ability to be empathetic? Do you believe in the fact that, or do you believe that candles could bring certain experiences? What about spirits? Do you believe that words have power? And if you do believe in these things, what type of witch are you? Before I go, I want to see who's up in here. Hey, Missy, guess we're doing a bell. I'm going to get yes, come on in here. This is editing. This editing is wonderful. Ow, come on in here, Jay. Stop it. Ow, thank you so much, Jay. Jolly, come on in here. Yes, honey. A very extraterrestrial. Yes, honey. Come on in here. Yes, Jenny. Ow. Yes. Ow. Girl, you know, I want to travel out there, Salem, and touch the soil for some teas. Well, listen, I already been in Salem. And I just want to say this because we are on this topic right now. The Salem, which, I mean, that, you know, Salem is not what it is and how it ain't. I'm just going to say this. A lot of these so called witches take a visit over there to Salem, and a lot of them go over there in hopes of reconnecting with their ancestors because they are alleging that they are related to these witches that were hung. Um, but I want to tell you something. Let me share this with y'all, since we're on this topic that I never ever shared before with you guys. But this is publicly documented years ago, y'all. And I will never forget this experience. Okay? And a lot of times, what I've learned as a spiritual being is that you could have past experiences or interpret past experiences as your own when you're actually seeing it through the eyes of other people. So I don't know if it is my fear of saying that that was me and this happened to me and it's going to bring up some type of emotion in me that's going to block out my spiritual abilities in this life, or is it that I protected myself from actually knowing that this was my experience. And I'm gonna say this. So I had a very strange experience in 2011. In 2011, I was having a very different, like a shift in my life. And I won't drag this out because we've already been on here for an hour and 18 minutes. But I had an experience where I wanted to do a dimensional shift, right? A dimensional, um, we'll keep it there, a dimensional shift. I wanted to go to sleep here and wake up in another dimension, right? And I did this multiple days and I didn't think it worked, right? Because I would wake up and I'd say, damn, I don't remember my dream, my experience, or any of that. And it could have been because there was a lot going on with me physically during that time, too. But I had a dream or an experience. And I'm going to say experience because I did my research and I found similar characters to this experience, but nothing to the degree of something very similar to, but nothing to the degree how I saw it. And I even learned as years went on that the spiritual eye does not see things as the physical eye see it. So the spiritual eye will see letters rearranged, and the physical eye or in the waking state, you're not going to understand what it means, right? But in the spiritual state, in the sleeping state, you're like, if I scrambled it around, I think it said that I'm walking down Elm Street, but in your dream, it's going to say Mel Street or it's going to say MLETS. And you're going to be like, what the fuck? A street called TS. This is just my experiences, y'all. And from what I've known, how the spirit works, right? How the subconscious works and how the other realms and other dimensions work. The ancestor and all that stuff. It all works the same way. Everything is mirrored, right? Nothing is perceived the way that it actually is in a waking state. And I'm even willing to say this as far as time goes as well, too. I won't get into that. But I had this experience where, and this is the fourth night of me doing this trans dimensional shift, right? I ended up waking up and I thought I was having a dream within a dream. I ended up waking up and I was waking up in a very old style house. And I would have to say this is like the 1700s, 1800s. And this was actually on the East Coast. And all this goes into the Salem witch trial stuff too, because like I said, people like to connect with their ancestors. They like to go into magical beings and all sorts of good stuff. So I had two separate experiences with the Salem area. Okay, but this one in particular blew my mind. Okay, and this did not happen during the Salem witch trials, but this happened on the outside of it, right? It was after this experience. Like I said, this had to be the 1700s, early 1800s. But I awake in this home, and this home felt very it felt very different. It felt real, but it felt very different. I wake up and I couldn't believe where I was at, if that makes sense. Like I couldn't believe where I was at, and maybe because the surroundings were different. But I saw a mirror, and I wanted to see myself, so I tried to get up and go to this mirror. And right when I was about to do this, this man comes in, and this man was dressed like um, the only way I could describe it is George Washington. This man did not look like George Washington. He was a white man, but he was dark haired, dark featured. And if I had to tell you, I would think that this man was probably European and Native American descent. If I had to really tell you what he was, and if he was just Native American, he was a very light skinned Native American, but he had very high cheek. Anyway, I won't get into that. But I was in love with this man, and this man, I had my consciousness, but I didn't see this man as a stranger. Like I knew this man. And so he's telling me that the time is approaching and that I needed to get ready. And I'm like, bitch, what the fuck am I getting ready for? Like, this is what I'm thinking. I clearly did not say it. But these two little girls come in, and I just started crying. And I think I was crying from the perspective of, like I said, this energy, but also my own. Because I'm like, oh my God, I'm a mommy. Like, oh my God, I'm a mom. What the hell? And I have these two beautiful daughters, long hair. They were beautiful, very, very put together, very intelligent. Oh my God, they were everything, right? And just in this moment, y'all, this quick second, right? This experience happened um, for 11 hours, but it happened so quickly whilst having this experience, right? So there was a knock at the door, and we have to go out, or everybody's going out before me. And of course, I'm able to see this mirror, and I see this weird looking mechanical thing. I think it was the clock. In my honest opinion, I think it was the clock. But I saw this weird mechanical thing, and I'm like, what the hell? But anyway, I got to the mirror, and I saw myself, and I was an overweight, indigenous looking white woman. And it fucking, ooh, girl, excuse my French. It fucking frightened me. Just very quickly, it frightened me. I was like, what the? So I was like, what the hell? Like, I really thought, girl, like this was like some fucking skeleton key type of shit. Like, somebody trapped me in this old ass white woman's body. Like, what the fuck? Like, girl, I was just so shocked by this. So the door is open, and I'm proceeding towards the door. I just felt like I needed to go outside of this door. On this porch, very big porch. I mean, girl, you can have a party on this porch, girl. They had rocking chairs lined up on this porch. I would say 4 or 5 rocking chairs. It had to be during the fall time because the leaves were on the ground. They were orange and brown, and it was very tall trees. Like it was a fucking forest. And we lived like this is the front of our house, and you could see the forest from the front of our house, if this makes sense. And there's a platform there, and everyone is waiting there, watching me, waiting for me to come out. And at this point, like I'm getting emotional, but something is telling me, bitch, hold it. Like, yeah, don't let these people see you get emotional. So I walk up on this platform. I see my husband. I see my two children. And like I said, y'all, this was very traumatizing me for a very long time. Like I said, I can pull up proof that I've talked about this many, 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 many years ago. And I remember this like it's like it happened just yesterday. Like I just had this experience yesterday. So I get up on this platform, and there was a what they call a hook, a lynch, bitch, a nook, what they call that, a rope, bitch. They're ready to hang my ass. And I saw my husband, I saw my daughters, I saw these other people that I mean, honestly, I felt like I've seen some people in this life that look like these people. And I was just so disgusted at these people, right? And I even felt like one of these people I knew and I trusted. And then there's this ugly ass man here with these pimples all over his face, older white guy, sloppy looking. And I was getting a sense this man was competing with my husband at one point in time, that he thought that that he was God's gift to people and shit. And it's just the emotions that I'm sensing while I'm having this experience. And so this man is talking this gibberish, right? And I couldn't even tell you if this man was speaking English or he was like Java Java Juba Juba Juba. Like it really would sound like gibberish to me. And then I heard it loud and clear. You have any final words? And he said my name. And when he said my name, like I had this like shock. Like have you ever had a dizzy spell, like vertigo? I got that feeling. Like, oh my God, like he's calling on my power or something. And I just said, I don't have no final words, but I do, want to tell my kids I love them. I will see them again. And I looked over at my husband. And at that point, bitch, they already had pulled the rope up. Bitch, I remember looking up into the sky. I saw all these birds flying over. And all of a sudden, I became tunnel vision, and it was blackness. And all I heard in this blackness, right? I couldn't see it, but I can hear hello, hello, hello. And I end up waking up. And when I woke up in this reality. And like I said, it was 11 hours, 11 hours and something minutes later. All of what I just described to y'all happened in this time frame, but it took 11 hours for this stuff to happen. And it freaked me out. And when I woke up, I immediately, when I got up, I was like, oh my God, where's my computer? Because I had to look up the name. And I just kept digging, kept digging, kept digging, kept digging, kept digging, kept digging, kept digging. And I found one person with a very similar name that looked very close to the image that I saw in my mirror, right? Very close. And allegedly there was an article written about this person. And of course, they were saying there was no prior knowledge of this woman outside of her dying, her death, right? And they said that her death was actually speculated to have happened many, many times, different ways, different whatever. But anyway, this happened in the Salem, Massachusetts area, to be exact. And I do feel like this connected to the Salem, why people make that pilgrimage there. A lot of people go there. They hope to tap on that energy. They hope that they can connect with their ancestors there. And I always say, and I will continue to say, you know, the energy is not really showing right where it should show. Because even going into modern day right now with the Maui stuff that's taking place, I'm sure a lot of these so-called Salem witches took their trips over there to Maui, Hawaii, and shit. And even some of you, hoodoo witches, those who don't have a criminal record and or ain't afraid to leave out your fucking country. But anyway, or land. You went over there to Maui and you enjoyed your time there. And now these Maui people, they need your help. Okay? But where's the power at? And that's why it even goes into the same sense of the New Orleans stuff when Hurricane Katrina happened. I always tell people, what was the New Orleans witches at when Hurricane Katrina happened? Why did y'all get George W. Bush together? What was y'all magic out helping those people in that Coliseum that was caving in and shit was going on? Like these are questions that I ask because I know for a fact that's not where that magic is at no more. I know for a fact that's magic is not in New Orleans no more. I know that for a fact it's not. Okay? I know that for a fact it is not. So the same thing with the Salem and the same thing with all these other places. Where's the hoodoo and voodoo witches and the Mongolian witches, and the Command witches, not commission, Command witches, bitch. Look that word up. Where's these magical abilities at? Okay, and we can even go deeper into what is going on even on this land in this country. All the shit that's going on. Where's the same power at standing behind the BLM? I was hoping, y'all, and I'm really just being honest here, and I'm gonna be done. When the BLM happened, I was hoping to see these witches say, we're doing some work. We're going to conjure up some energy. We're going to pull our ancestors up. The ones that fought back, the ones that poisoned the slave masters, the ones that were killing these masters in their sleep, because that happened. But there's no stories about it. I was hoping that these black witches were going to come forward, especially in the motherfucking South, was going to come forward and say, we're going to conjure up our ancestors. We're going to go to their graveyard. We're going to do the graveyard dirt rituals on the people, on the government, on the police station. We're going to get protection from these people. I was really hoping to see that. But instead, I saw some weak ass witch bitches, wannabe witches, get on their motherfucking YouTube channels, TikToks, and IGs and telling these young children to go burn shit down. And that's when I realized that these hoes are nothing but one of motherfucking wannabes. And so, like I said, going into the Salem witch trials, going into the Salem journey that people take every year, going into the New Orleans journey people take every year, going into wherever you go for your magical abilities, you're tapping into energies. I would like to see this magic get used because, of course, one person can't do it. Of course, one person can't do it. I would love to see the gathering of these so-called witches actually do some shit because allegedly they were doing workings on Donald Trump. And as I tell y'all, bitch, you can't fuck with people that are anointed. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to keep that very light. I'm going to keep it pushing. Because like I said, we can go into some deep, deep shit today. But you cannot touch people that are motherfucking anointed. And regardless of what your personal views are about Donald, baby, trust me when I tell you this, he's more anointed than Joe Biden is. He's more anointed than Barack Obama is. He's more anointed than any of these people have ever been and will ever be. Bitch, don't let history fool you. Don't let history fool you. Y'all got together through manipulation. Y'all got together through mind control. You got together thinking you were going to stop something, and the shit got passed under the jurisdiction of Joe Biden. I don't need to get into what I'm talking about. You can do your research on that. But like I said, you cannot touch the anointed ones, those who are masters of the mind. You cannot manipulate a manipulator. If you want to go there, we can go there. So like I said, what else can y'all join together to get rid of? Worldwide hunger, worldwide sick children, worldwide foster system where there's a lot of children there that needs to be taken care of. Just ideas, you know. To me, that would say that you're a real witch bitch. Manifesting your reality. Not sitting here saying, it's because I'm black, no, the white man ain't ever going to see me. Ain't you a witch? Ain't you a witch? Ain't you a worshiper of the fire? Huh? Oh, well, it's because I'm a woman. These men ain't ever going to see me equal. Bitch, witch, please. Aren't you a witch though? Oh, it was because of finances that the bank got over on me and they foreclosed my home on me. What? Aren't you a witch? Aren't you a witch, girl? I thought witches had special abilities. Bitch, not you getting foreclosed on and houses getting repossessed and cars getting repoed. Because that's also what happened to one of these witches allegedly too. It ain't an alleged witch, but it actually happens and they got their car repoed and said they were going to be turning over their car because the payments are too much. No, bitch. They told you don't turn that. They told they were coming to get their car, And bitch, you want to make it seem like you were turning it over. Bitch, the repossession is still on your record. But aren't you a witch though? Like that's the power of a witch. That's the ability. Like you can get in and get out and get something. Okay, you sit there talking about you got those abilities, but anyway, I'm done. That's it. That's it. That's it, honey. Yes, honey. Do you have any specific spirits that work really well with witches? Your ancestors. Do covens share one enchantment book to put spells in? No, because I mean, maybe the fake covens. I mean, Debbie, I don't deal with fake coventry. No shade. I don't deal with fake covenants. Um, Maybe the fake witches do. Um, Once again, the real covens are witches that are solitary witches that come together for a common purpose, and their powers are separate and they amplify them together. So a good example would be a real powerful coven would have different type of witches. You would have black witches, white witches, water witches, earth witches, fire witches, Commission witches, African witches. Like girl, everybody would be different, so that way there's different aspects of that energy coming forward to take down the object that you have in mind. So do real covens share spells and secrets or have an enchantment book that they put their spells in? No. Okay, no, not real ones. The fake ones, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I feel like when witches share secrets, it gets messy all the time. All the time. The Craft is such a good movie. I know that's right, honey. Yes, honey. Boomerang effect. Yes, honey. I feel like photos are very powerful magic. It sure is. Yes, honey. Come on. Girl, my audio don't work. What? It's not working right now. It's not working right now. No, no trickster spirits are playing games. The whole motherfucking shit fucked up. Okay, the whole fucking shit fucked up. Can we talk about it? The whole fucking shit fucked up. Let me see. Ow! I got exited all the way out of the motherfucking studio. You hear me? I do believe in it all, and I consider myself a techno mystic who has learned under the wing of Mother Mystic Madam Mercury. Come on in here. Thank you so much for that, Jolly Ale and Techno Mystic. We love that, honey. See, we love that magic is so beautiful. Magic is so variant, right? It has so many variations, so many levels of frequency, so many octaves. Oh my God, y'all. We love magic. Girl, we love magic and we love the mysticism behind it all. Come on here, Techno Mystic. Now, I'm still waiting for the Seas of Oshun. When that song dropping, Jaliel? Hello, Jaliel. When that mystic? When that Seas of Oshun dropping? Hello. Use the technology as a form of assessing the beyond or God, which is why I love Beyond the Navigate. It's going beyond. Come on in here. I know that's right, Charlie. Hello. I know that's right, honey. I know that's right. I know that's right. Listen, I said I was gonna get on here and show y'all my goddess beads. I'm gonna wait to do that tomorrow because I have to take my hair down. Girl, let me be honest with y'all. I have not taken my braids down and washed them in almost 2 months. And they were starting to dread, girl. They were starting to get locked. It literally took me 4 hours to detangle my hair. No lie, 4 hours. Okay, 4 hours to detangle my hair, and I barely got done right before I got on here. I parted my hair in quadrants, and I barely got finished with the last one. And I still gotta go wash my hair, condition my hair, let it dry, girl, do my tea. Like, girl, we got a lot we gotta do. Okay. And so anyway, ooh, girl, I'm a little tender headed too, girl. And oh girl, a lot of hair came out too, girl. When I say it dreaded, girl. Girl, when I say girl, I said, so I can't be doing that no more, girl. And that's for me not sleeping with my bonnet and shit too. Just sleeping. Go on to bed, let my hair hit the pillow and shit. That's what that shit is from. But yes, honey. It's coming, okay. 2 years later. No play. Ah! Let's see y'all. Thank you so much for stopping by, Journey Beyond the 11th Gate. And we'll be back again very soon. I hope to see, listen, y'all, so far there's two people that are coming to the Samhain event. And I'm excited about it because, of course, I know one of them. The other one, we've only talked, we never met. I'm excited to meet up and to chat with my people, honey. Ideally, this will be October the 28th. Of course, we're putting the last final touches on it today before I put it out by the 17th. Okay? Come on in here. Yes, Jay. Yes, honey. Reminds me of technopathy. What the hell? I know that's right, Jay. Jay, you be knowing your tea, huh? That remind me of my girl, Crystal K. Slow it down, don't leave it booty hot. Do da 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 T T T. Hey, hey, can I go and take it easy? Hey, come on. Slow it down, don't move the booty stop. Don't eat a can of girl, let me see. Let me see, honey. And y'all know I'm excited too about something too, girl. I can't even tell y'all yet. Oh my god, it's called Kiraku. No, Kirakuni. Is that Kira? So we kind of act tight. We can't do anything. Get like, should I let go? Well, sometimes say, do yourself to let yourself say, Kiraku. Take it easy. Throw your hands if you can feel it. Now, Crystal K is a black Japanese woman, and she does technopathy. Okay, technopathy is the ability to control electronic machinery and or the ability to read electronic signals, especially hardware. And she's able to get that music out and tap in, girl. We love her. We love her some Kira Kune, take it easy. Slow it down, don't even do it. Anything for the cutie, anything for the yeah. And see, I cannot say you say, yeah. It's a good night, yeah. Anyway, y'all, let me go, okay? Love y'all. Take care of yourself. Be good to yourself, okay? Y'all, we're going to be going to continue on. Oh, wait a minute. Ooh, we'll be back again later, okay? This week. Okay. Bye, y'all. Love and light. Mwah.